Hello, and thanks for taking the time to look at my presentation. My name is Michelle Thomson, and I'm a paramedic with SA Ambulance Service. And I had the privilege of leading this pilot project. So to give you some background, in the pre-hospital setting, we often attend to people experiencing moderate to severe pain. And at SA Ambulance Service, we conducted a pain CPG review in 2022. And as part of that review, we identified gaps in pain management in certain patient groups, particularly patients in remote locations and those attended by non-paramedic staff. So really the situation is not ideal either for the patient or for the clinician who's attending that patient. So to address this issue, we decided to pilot sublingual ketamine, currently under the trade name of wafamine. So this medication is longer acting than methoxyflurane and fentanyl. Additionally, we at the time were aware that St John's Ambulance Western Australia had been using sublingual ketamine for over 2 years with their volunteer EMTs, and they had had good effect and no major adverse events. So with this in mind, we focused our pilot on 2 regional areas where we had both paramedics and volunteer ambulance officers. So once we had got the relevant license for sublingual ketamine and had a standing drug order in place, we made adjustments to our guideline for the pilot, and we did some face-to-face education. We also, really importantly, spent some time chatting to our volunteer staff within the pilot region. And we did some presentation at their training events, which were mostly in the evening. This was very valuable. It helped us identify some system challenges. It also helped us understand their challenges and gave us an opportunity to address any concerns they had. Further to that, we developed an online e-learning package. We recognized quite early on that we needed to create a package that was specific for paramedics and different for ambulance officers. After all, their scope of practice is different, therefore their learning needs were different. And then finally, we ensured that we collected data via the QR code that you see on the wafamine box for every sublingual ketamine administration. And from those results, we had 354 patients within the pilot period, 3 dysphoric reactions, and 47 patients who had sublingual ketamine administered by ambulance officers. So in the very early part of the pilot, we recognized that some of our paramedics were quite enthusiastic with administering sublingual ketamine, and those dysphoric episodes happened in the very early phase. And whilst there weren't major adverse events there, we had the opportunity, because of the way we were collecting our data, to address that very early on. We made some adjustments to our CPG straight away. And of the patients that had sublingual ketamine administered by ambulance officers, we had no adverse events. And then the graph on the right there to that data also talks about what other medications were concurrently administered when patients had sublingual ketamine. And obviously some clinicians couldn't administer opiates, but the majority of patients had opiate administration as well. 88% of patients reported that they had a pain relief. Some of the system challenges that we had to address were things on our S8 policy and procedures. We needed to make some adaptations there, and we also identified some of our volunteer ambulance stations. We needed to ensure that they met S8 compliance. So it was a really good opportunity to identify those issues, and I'm mindful that those issues would be different in different services. So thank you for your time. Feel free to scan the QR code, which will take you to the references and my contact details should you want to get in touch. Thanks.